Please be seated. Thank you. The Principal Secretary for Roads, Engineer Joseph Mbugwa, the Deputy Governor of Nyeri, Honorable Arui, my friend, the MP of Nyeri Town, Honorable Duncan Madenge Maina, the Chair of the President of the World Federation of Engineers, Mr. Mustafa Sheu, Chairman, Engineers Board of Kenya, Engineer Erastus Mwongera, the CEO of Engineers Board of Kenya, Engineer Margaret Ogai, with all the other CEOs of the different agencies represented here, the Chairperson of the Association of Consulting Engineers of Kenya, Engineer Jane Mutulili, President of Institution of Engineers of Kenya, your new President, Engineer Shama Kiteme, and congratulations also on your, I met you that evening. You are very happy after the election. I don't want to tell them I met you where. The Vice Chancellor of this great institution, Dedan Kimathi University, Professor Peter Mushiri, the other leaders present, actually distinguished guests. I see chairman, I see representation of various people here, including my predecessor, Engineer Kamau. You know, I think only between me and Engineer Kamau is one person. That is the immediate former Cabinet Secretary who was just coming between us. And I'm very happy to see you here and to see Engineer Kamau being here at home with all these footprints at the ministry itself just like Engineer Mbugwa, the people who worked with the ministry and have the expertise. Now, I'm here today on behalf of His Excellency, the Deputy President, and I'm going to read his speech. So before I read his speech, I have very few remarks to make. First of all, His Excellency would not have been here would not meant to be here because of the situation we are in as a country at the moment, responding to the crisis of enhanced rains, which I really hope that we are past the very serious phase. And as a result, he would have really loved to be here, not just because he's the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, but he's a friend of you engineers. He has been with us before, but also he would have been very happy to be at home in this very important institution. The Deputy President and I share something about this county. The Deputy President comes from this county, and this county is my second home. This is where I found a wife, so this is a very important home for me. And I am very, 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 very amazed by the beautiful institution. I've been here before, but I've never had a chance to come through to see the wonderful facilities that are here. Even this theater alone is one of those things you really admire to have in many institutions that don't have it. And Prof, I want to tell you that you have a wonderful, wonderful facility, and there is no reason why we should always look for hotels when we have such facilities to have very important functions. This, as DMM said earlier, Honorable MP, I am not, unlike most of the people here, I am not an engineer. But make no mistake, in my legal profession, I have interacted with engineers in many ways. Like the chairman told me earlier, at the university, we knew the engineers, people were reading very hard working, but very social internally, not externally. Yeah? So, you can easily tell in a meeting of professionals who is the engineer by the way they are going to dress. So, if you find someone who has a faded jeans and some t-shirt or sweater, that is most likely to be an engineer. And the only exception is my PS, Engineer Joseph Mbugwa, who has very, very good ties. But sometimes, because of his background as an engineer, depending on how he wakes up, and I suspect when the wife is not around, he will come with a tie that calls itself nothing with a shirt and a suit. That is when I know he has become an engineer that day. So the beauty of this profession is the same. So even when we used to have fellowship in University of Nairobi to go to main campus, and we are interacting with the engineers, rarely did the engineers, because of the inward social life, rarely did they try to propose to any lady who was a lawyer. So if you find an engineer who married a lawyer, that's a very daring engineer. And because of that, we were forced as lawyers to marry ourselves in the law school. So thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. 60 years of independence and 60 years of celebrating this profession is not a short period of time. And therefore, it's a signature of our independence. It's important to appreciate that as a country, we have been able to grow to the stage where the entire construction industry, every sector that we need engineers, it is led by Kenyan engineers. I know, like the chair said, and also the president of the World Federation of Engineers spoke, we still have some steps to make when it comes to business, especially when it comes to engaging consulting engineers, when it comes to contractors, that we still have situations where, even though we have very qualified engineers locally, we still have situations where a lot of business still goes to engineers who come from out of the country. We have committed ourselves with PS Mbugwa that we will change that trend, and I had a meeting with the team from the consulting engineers, and the chair is sitting here, and we agreed that we will work towards achieving total compliance. We are ready and willing to also get proposals from the associations who are here, the Federation of Engineers, the consulting engineers, to give us proposals on how we can make sure that there is a higher level of accountability beyond just registering all the practitioners with the Engineers Board of Kenya. Number two, I am extremely impressed with what I saw today with the Semiconductors Technology Limited. And to have such high level investment insofar as science and technology is concerned in this university is a testimony that we are now moving forward as a country to marry education and practice insofar as industry is concerned. I really hope that this is a model that is being replicated in most of the universities across the country, because universities in the world have become what they are because the centers of innovation is not the industry out there, it's the industry as established within the university environment. And I was so impressed because the people who took us through the laboratories and the research work that is going on and the innovation that is going on are very, very young people. Very young people. And I was also extremely impressed that it was not just young people, but I think 70 or 80% were young women. And I think that is extremely unique. And I want us to, and I hope that this is something, I wish my colleague, Professor, Honorable Machoku was here, but this is something I will make a mention at the cabinet meeting to just say that there is something that is cooking in the universities, and this should be the practice. When I came to office, I insisted that as much as possible, some of the consulting works that is being done by our institutions and within our ministry should also be outsourced to the institutions that work from the university so that our students get an opportunity to learn and to be able to grow. So this is extremely important. We also had a conference last year that involved women contractors and women engineers. And we are going to have a stock-taking meeting this year. And I really hope that the agencies represented here, you made progress concerning the issues we agreed, that we want to work towards gender parity in this very sector. Because I am very happy to have Engineer Margaret being a CEO and being a lady CEO, but we want to have more CEOs who are going to run these institutions who are women. I know the men will not clap because those who are in office are fearing that we might change them and replace with women, but also those who are aspiring are worried that but this is very important for us. The other issue I'd like to mention is that we are working hard to make sure that the regulation of the engineering sector is done well, and I'm happy also that the Commission of University Education is here, and I am glad that the previous pull and push between Engineers Board of Kenya and the Commission of University Education regarding training of engineers in the university has now been sorted. We should not have a situation, we should never have a situation again where a student is trained for 5 years only to be told that you don't meet the minimum qualification to transist. That should never happen again. In fact, that is an abdication of duty on the part of government, not on the part of the student. Because I know there was a situation where some universities had such challenges, and that should never happen again. We also appreciate the partnership we have with the East Africa Community partner states, and also the support we are getting with the World Federation of Engineers to make sure that our engineers are recognized globally. As a ministry, we support you 100% to make sure that we all accede to the Washington Accord to make sure that our engineers are recognized in their practice globally. And therefore, I have told the chair and the CEO that we will facilitate as a ministry everything you need to make sure that this application is successful. The last part of it is that we are in a very precarious situation as a country. The reality we are facing is that climate change is a real challenge insofar as our existence in the planet Earth is concerned. You've seen the enhanced rains, the floods, and the destruction that ensued as a result of the floods. We have suffered immense destruction of infrastructure, starting with the bridges, the roads, and we are suffering this at a situation where we are also struggling to manage our budget to make sure that we live within our means. We will be sitting down with the road agencies here and the other infrastructure institutions to make sure that we do proper assessment of the situation across the country. And we will call upon all of you as engineers to provide lasting solution and long-term solution insofar as having climate resilient infrastructure across the country. We request you to adhere to the standards that are required, both by your profession but also the law, because we need institutions and we need engineers. I know one engineer who works with Kenya, who was supervising one of our projects in an area that has serious security problems. And sometimes when infrastructure is in such areas, the contractors always cut shortcuts because they know that perhaps the minister will not go there, the DG will not go there, or who will not go there. But I'm so impressed by that engineer because when I came to office, and I still want the DG Kenya to make sure that you bring him to my office, that when I came to my office, the contractor was complaining of how the engineer was too strict insofar as the supervision of the standard of the road is concerned. And thanks to that engineer, we have asked the contractor to repeat the works, and to make sure that they get us to the level that we want. We would like all of you as engineers here to maintain the highest standard of professional work. That is why The register of all the engineers is very important under the EBK. It's also important to account for every work that is supervised by a particular engineer so that we know if a building collapses like the one that collapsed yesterday around Kino, we need to know who was the supervising engineer and who approved that building to go to the level. And our NCA are here, and I'm sure they're going to follow up that. So we need to make sure that we are holding professionals into account, the same way we hold lawyers and other professions to account to make sure that. And I'm happy. I had the president of the World Federation of Engineers speak about establishment of specific tribunals that are going to try individuals who are not going to abide by this very important profession, so that we do not have few people messing up the institution of engineers in the country. I know that even when it comes to supervision of works, even when we have given contractors works, like we did for the airport and for the port and for the roads, it's important to know that it is our engineers who must hold those contractors into account. Having said that, sorry, I know we put you under immense pressure because I have, His Excellency the President is going to chair a meeting that I should be in the next 1 hour. So this is now the remarks of His Excellency the Deputy President. I don't have a speech today, that's why I have to make off the cuff. So the Deputy President now is speaking, starting now. I'm happy to join you this morning for the this afternoon, for the 5th Engineering Partnership Convention. It's always my pleasure to address, interact, and engage with professionals. The theme of this convention, Engineering at 60, Reflections, Response, Resetting, gives you, the participants of this meeting, a moment to look back at the milestones of the profession since independence. It's also time to identify gaps and opportunities to re-engineer the engineering strategy of contributing to the socio-economic transformation of Kenya and the region. Africa is not the continent of the future. Africa is the continent of today. Esteemed engineers, ladies and gentlemen, we hold this convention when our country is deep in climate crisis. All sectors of our economy have been put to test. The structural integrity of our infrastructure, buildings, roads, bridges, among others, has been violated by the enhanced rains. The collapse of infrastructure, similar to what happened during El Nino last year, has brought the engineering profession into a sharp focus. Climate change is real. Climate change is challenging us not to invent for the future, but to invest and innovate for today and for posterity. Integration of climate-smart innovation, therefore, is a priority for this convention. We must harness the collaboration and partnership in redefining the various subsectors of engineering to meet the demands of changing times, offering unquestionable safety and security. From the exhibition here today, there is promising potential that will propel us to the next level of development. Distinguished engineers, ladies and gentlemen, while we have a robust laws and policies stipulating what must be covered in training, some universities have continued offering courses not approved by the Engineering Board of Kenya. It's a waste of resource as the graduates will not be certified as required. We congratulate the Engineering Board of Kenya for the planned bridging for the graduates, but a sustainable solution on accreditation of courses lies in a joint re-evaluation and detailed discussion with learning institutions to align training to industry-focused skills. This needs to be done in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the Commission of University Education, while involving the relevant professional bodies and the stakeholders. Universities must also be ready to match their capacity demands to meet the course-specific requirements. Quality of our engineering training must be beyond reproach. Ladies and gentlemen, we are concerned that quacks have raided our professions, including the engineering profession. They masquerade as professionals. In this regard, I would like to throw a challenge to the engineering regulator They need to work with other agencies in exposing such people for prosecution. They are not only intruders to the trade, but also criminals putting lives at risk. These esteemed engineers should also apply to colleagues delivering substandard work that puts the safety of machines, buildings, other infrastructure and installation into question. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons for low quality work is leasing of services by qualified engineers who do not show up to inspect and supervise projects. Endemic corruption and wanting integrity are other concerns. This convention needs to identify the gaps in regulation of training as well as enforcement of laws in practice. We need to nab the quacks and corrupt officials in the entire network to protect the image of the distinguished profession and the professionals. We are delivering the profession and professionals who are delivering above board. In the same breath, engineering professionals and fiscal planners regulatory bodies must strictly adhere and enforce the relevant national and international civil and structural designs and construction standards. Herein, we are joined by legislators and key policymakers. The legislators of our country are ready to work with you in strengthening the relevant framework. We can also borrow and domesticate good practices from other professions on self-regulation and discipline of those who do not abide by the regulation. Ladies and gentlemen, the engineering profession and engineers remain central and strategic to our nation. That is why we must continually explore ways of developing their profession. One of such ways is for relevant agencies such as the National Construction Authority, National Environmental Authority, to plow back for development of the engineering profession. Such a kit may facilitate advanced training and other capacity strengthening initiatives. I also dare say it includes also the road agencies and other agencies within the transport sector. As we strive to raise standards even higher, it's critical to nurture aspiring and upcoming engineers. It is a sustainable and sure way of growing their profession. I'm excited to know that you are big on mentorship. Your program of 450 students under mentorship is a game changer. With less than 20% of women in engineering, this is an opportunity to bring in more of them into their profession. As a strong believer in youth mentorship, I congratulate the engineers here for this very important initiative. Congratulations for that. The Kenya Kwanza plan of transforming our nation under President William Ruto heavily relies on engineers and engineering. From the affordable housing program, manufacturing, agriculture, the digital economy, among others, we have confidence that you have a place to plug in your contribution. With evolving technology, we are staring at a big leap into artificial intelligence, which has registered efficiency and effectiveness in countries that are more advanced. We have no reason to wait and consume innovations of other people, with engineering admitting the best of best into university. We have an equal opportunity to invent and show the world that Kenya is the epicenter of innovation in the continent. In this convention, we have a moment to interact, network, and form formidable teams. These teams will propel our mission of integrating invaluable innovation into development. The Ruto administration looks forward to full support of engineers for informed decisions in various projects leading to a transformed Kenya. At this note, I thank the Dedan Kimathi University of Technology, agencies and partners for making this event a reality. I wish you fruitful deliberations as we wait for the outcome of the convention for action. It is now my pleasure to declare the 5th Engineering Partnership Convention officially open. Asanteni sana. Thank you.